Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 6 starts now.
Majoring in marijuana. Meet one of the first college students getting a head start on the big business that's about to hit Michigan. Rod.
It is a new era in the United Auto Workers. New president Rory Gamble has taken over the helm. What's he going to do with the union? He told us in an exclusive interview today.
A local businessman who was expecting a sentence of probation says the wrong thing in court and is now headed to prison. Good to have you with us for Local 4 News at 6, a story first uncovered by the Local 4 defenders.
And it ended today with the sentencing for the Madison Heights businessman who refused to clean up a toxic mess. Despite repeated warnings from the Department of Environmental Quality, Gary Sayers, who along with his company Electroplating Services, Inc., pleaded guilty in February to the mess you see here.
Jason Colthorpe was in federal court for the sentencing, and Jason, it took a surprising turn.
Yes, it did, Devin. Sayers' attorney made a solid case for probation despite prosecutors wanting jail time for what they say was Sayers' knowing illegal storage of waste cyanide, highly corrosive wastes, and it was kept in a building open for anyone to wander into.
Gary Sayers leaving federal court Tuesday, but not as a free man. His ill-fated decision in front of the judge in a moment. But first, this is what he pleaded guilty to: not properly storing and discarding thousands of containers of hazardous waste from his Madison Heights business, Electroplating Services, Inc. For 2 decades, he ignored warnings from the MDEQ and was even undeterred by a probation from a 2005 guilty plea for transporting hazardous materials. On February 14th of this year, the 69-year-old Sayers pleaded guilty again to illegally storing all of these chemicals and agreed to pay back the EPA the $1.44 million it spent to clean it all up last year. But today in court, Sayers did not show remorse. He told the judge he was ashamed, but also bitter over government regulations and trade issues that hurt his business. He was adamant that in his 50 years of working with chemicals, he'd done it safely and admirably. It was the bitter comment that didn't sit well with the judge. Instead of probation, he sentenced Sayers to a year and a day in prison because, in his words, Mr. Sayers doesn't get it.
Do you regret not being more contrite in court, given what the judge decided?
I tracked down Sayers as he left the court, and he didn't have a single word to say.
He seemed to point out that that simple fact was why you're headed to jail. No regrets there? Sayers was given 90 days to report to prison, which will be a camp in Morgantown, West Virginia, a minimum security prison for nonviolent offenders. But he did dodge a fine in this sentencing, which could have been sizable, guys.
So what happens to the company or the property, I guess?
Yeah, the company was, the DEQ shut them down in 2016, but now they will sell that to try and come up with that restitution of that $1.44 million.
Stunning turn.
Yeah.
Jason. Well, now to scandal, which has led to a leadership change atop the UAW. And of course, it's right in the middle of national contract negotiations. Rory Gamble steps in as now acting UAW president, while Gary Jones is on leave during an embezzlement investigation. Business editor Rod Maloney tonight has the exclusive first interview with Gamble, who is not shy about the problems the union faces and what he intends to do about all of it.
The United Auto Workers has a rebuild in front of it of epic proportion. Just take a look at here at Solidarity House. The building burned earlier this year. All of the offices are empty. And in the meantime, the union had to install a new president. His name is Rory Gamble, taking over for Gary Jones, who stepped aside over the weekend in an emergency boardroom vote. And Rory Gamble knows that he has a difficult job that goes far beyond the building here.
To me, I feel personal betrayal from these people.
Back in July, UAW Ford Vice President Rory Gamble walked into the UAW Ford handshake ceremony right behind then-President Gary Jones. Today, Gamble separates Jones from the 10 UAW leaders who have been sent to prison because Jones hasn't been charged. Of the scandal, he says,
"It is very shameful. It causes me a lot of utter disgust. That people that I've worked with over the years and known would betray their oaths of office."
Gamble knows it's controversial for Jones, who makes $200,000 a year, to get a paid leave. But unless and until Jones is charged, Gamble calls it the right answer. Gamble told Local 4 News that he took the president's job under the condition the UAW board allows him to make the necessary tough accounting and financial control changes he thinks necessary.
Dues money is sacred.
And he has one simple and daunting goal for his tenure.
At the next convention, my goal and vision is to hand off to the next president a very clean and uncorrupted labor union.
By the calendar, Gamble is supposed to hand off the reins of power in September of 2022. He says he's going to retire and spend time with his 5 children and 34 grandchildren. In Detroit, Rod Maloney, Local 4.
All right, Rod, and Gamble also told Rod he's concerned about the Fiat Chrysler merger with Peugeot and intends to visit with FCA national contract negotiators later this week in order to see how or whether that merger will impact their talks.
We are following elections from around Metro Detroit tonight. Take a look here. We're looking live at a polling location in Rochester Hills. Voters there are deciding on a roads millage. Other communities deciding on races for mayor and more, and proposals involving recreational marijuana are on several ballots. So here's the countdown clock to the polls closing. Just under 2 hours until the polls close at 8. And as usual, you just have to be in line by 8. You do not have to be finished voting. And of course, when the results start coming in this evening, you'll see them begin to pop up on our website at clickondetroit.com.
And here's the countdown clock to us smacking Ben with a snow shovel. This has not been great.
Well, you know what? Let's start with some good news. You can leave the shovels in the garage on Thursday.
Okay.
How about that?
That's fine.
But that does not, yes, there's always a but. That does not mean we will not be seeing snow. In fact, you look at the snowfall forecast and you can see that those bands starting to cross the lake tomorrow and then eventually sinking down into Metro Detroit, mostly as we get into Thursday morning's commute. That's the area that we're watching. It's not going to be a huge amount that's left on the ground. It's the timing that's going to be critical, and we'll nail it down hour by hour coming up in just a few minutes. This evening, we have said our goodbyes to the 50s, the 40s. We're going to say goodbye to those numbers, too. Most of the high temperatures that we see are going to be this going forward. A very cold stretch in the 10-day forecast coming up. Don't forget, if you haven't already, download our local forecasters app before the snow gets here. It's got the snow, it's got the warnings, and everything you need to know. Search WDIV in your favorite app store. Guys.
Okay, Ben. The investigation into hazing at De La Salle High School is underway, and we've just been given an update on how things are going. We're told some parents are actually keeping their children from talking to police, even with them in the room. Police say they plan to interview each of the school's football players and coaches, and this is something they'll have to work around. School administrators are cooperating, though, with the investigation.
Marijuana and the business of it is now a college major being offered here in Michigan for the first time at any institution of higher learning in the country. As Mara McDonald joins us. Mara, those degrees are coming out of Lake Superior State University up in Sault Ste. Marie.
Devin, the degrees concentrate on cannabis chemistry and business programs in a field that is doing nothing but expanding and hiring.
I remember people asking me, oh, you're just getting a degree in pot, but really that's not what it is. It's the analytical chemistry techniques of it.
Allie will be graduating with a first-of-its-kind degree in cannabis. Lake Superior State University is the first to offer such a degree in a state where medical and now recreational pot is legal.
First of all, the market is expanding rapidly. They're estimating 20,000 jobs in the state of Michigan alone.
The national numbers suggest by the end of this year, Allie's degree wouldn't just be of use here in Michigan. Nationally, the pot industry is looking at about 200,000 job openings. Now, all jokes about smoking weed aside, what do students actually learn here?
Our program is designed to walk the students through testing and the chemistry behind what's going on in the cannabis plant. So in consumer products, consumer safety, law enforcement, and then how all of those things combine and interact from a chemistry perspective.
Legal cannabis in this country is already an industry worth billions of dollars, with the estimates pegging it at $30 billion by 2025. We're downtown. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
However you feel about the issue, I mean, there's a college jumping in.
That's right.
Understanding what's coming.
It's an indicator of how big it really is, certainly.
Yep.
And as you said, more to come. Time for a check of the national stories you'll see ahead at 6:30 on NBC Nightly News.
Lester Holt is in New York with a preview tonight. Hi, Lester.
Hey, Devin and Kim, among the stories we're working on, why a sheriff's deputy's actions at a Florida school are being called child abuse. Also, we'll show you why some employers are embracing the switch to a 4-day work week. How about that?
Where do I sign up?
You ready?
Right? Sign me up, Lester.
Yeah, 3-day weekend. 3-day weekend every weekend sounds pretty good, right? There's obviously a catch. You still have to clock in, your 40 hours over 4 days instead of 5. Tonight, you'll hear from the companies that say the new schedule has boosted productivity and helped people truly reset. So hopefully our bosses are paying close attention.
Yeah.
Lester, I'm sorry, but you're not eligible unless we're just going to start doing the newscast 4 days a week. All right, yeah, I know. All right, Lester, we'll see you in about 20 minutes from now. A very important ribbon cutting in downtown Detroit. Why this place is so important for young people looking to find their way after a tough start.
But first, Michigan steps on the scale, and the numbers are not pretty. Where we rank nationally in key areas of the obesity epidemic.